last time, Timmy, put your clothes on. Tarzan of the Apes this morning.
What's that?
Yeah, it's a spider. He's been frightening Jenny with it. If you do that again, there'll be no more bionic man. Down you go.
Couldn't you just let it out into the garden?
In the garden, Susan, it's where they breed. At it all the time, thousands of them.
I think you should put it down the sink.
Well, don't worry, he won't come back with the pipe again. I'll give him a quick burst with a hot tap. He was in dead trouble.
Oh, dear.
He's up 2 little eggs onto the drain grid. I'll give him another quick burst. Yeah, finito.
You're cruel and horrible.
Now, what's the matter, Susan? It's only a spider.
Could have been a mother.
A mother. Worse. Do you know what these female spiders do? They eat up their husbands, chew them into little pieces.
Oh, it's only natural for them.
And then they start complaining about being one-parent families.
It's me you resent, isn't it?
No, of course it isn't.
Oh, you're always like this in the morning.
No, I'm not. I'm usually too busy looking for lost toys. I mean, when are you going to finish building that new toy box?
Can't. I've run out of wood.
Well, you can't expect them to be tidy, Susan, if they've got nowhere to put anything.
Well, we don't want to cramp their personalities. Besides, what's wrong with a little bit of untidiness?
That's not what you said when you stood on that Russian rocket launcher in your bare feet.
I was startled.
Yeah, well, I don't like them hearing words like that, Susan. I mean, I had to tell them it was Russian.
You know, I'm never going to be able to live up to this image. I mean, qualified carpenter, expert linguist, what next? Brain surgeon?
You just do the things that any normal mother would do. Finish the wallpapering. I mean, men Teddy.
How can I? They can't find his head since they guillotined him.
He's probably lying about in some basket.
It's you they get their bloodlust from. Rex, it's climbed up again.
You want its revenge, don't tell it that I won't.
All right, if I just pop out for a birthday card, is it?
They're not open yet, Harry.
Yes, they are. There's 2 pubs open at 11:30.
Sorry, who said anything about birthday?
No, but you never do, Harry. It's always throw pastels or somebody's birthday. I mean, your wife must have had 3 birthdays already this year. She must be nearly 100 by now.
Did she get a telegram from the Queen?
Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. Anyway, one of those cards was for Carol.
Yeah, well, why stop at Carol? Why not our birthdays? I mean, why not a card for our beloved Fiora, Mr. Fletcher, on his birthday? That's it, isn't it? Why, you... Come on, where is it?
Where's what?
The cake. I bet you baked him a cake.
No, I didn't.
A homemade jam sponge with soft icing so he doesn't hurt his teeth. And just one little candle to be charmingly discreet about his age.
Don't let's be silly, shall we now?
How did you know it was Mr. Fletcher's birthday, Rex?
Exactly. Because he's got it written down in his diary. He writes it down so that he'll remember to buy Fletcher his annual leather blotter.
That's not true.
All right. Show us your diary.
Certainly not. It's private.
Yeah, you see, he writes it down all right. Trouble is, he forgets to look at it until it's too late.
So that's why Carol's come all specially dolled up today.
Quite.
Is this Mr. Fletcher's department?
Ooh.
Is this Mr. Fletcher's department?
Yes, it's his birthday.
Can I help you, my dear?
I'm Heather Sinclair. Ford Planning sent me.
Are you one of his presents?
All right, get on with your work, Bert. What can we do for you, Miss Sinclair?
Well,
It's all right, Rex. I'll look after Heather. Have you been with us long, Heather?
only a week, Mr.
Oh, please. Harry. Tell me your troubles, Heather. You can work wonders.
Ford Planning need Area 6's 1972 returns for analysis.
What?
The confidential file head office sent you for study.
Oh, yeah.
Rex, I
It's
wonder...
all right, Bert. Get on with it. I can attend to Heather.
They said this was the right place to go.
Oh, how very true they were, Heather. Rex. And get the file out for Miss Heather, will you, please? Yes. This is your first job, Heather. You're going to need someone very experienced to show you what's what.
I used to be in the London office. Harry.
London, eh? The action place. I've been there. Come and sit down and tell me all about it.
Aren't you going out to buy a birthday card, Harry?
Why don't you go and sharpen your pencils, Bert? Mind you, Heather. Heather, mind you. There's action enough round here, if you know where to look for it.
Carol,
Yes, Mr. Fletcher.
come in there, will you?
Yes, Mr. Fletcher.
Wanted me?
Carol, you are a sweetie, but you shouldn't have.
Many happy returns, dear.
Oh, dear Carol, you always remember. And I haven't forgotten our little get-together this evening. I think you'll enjoy eating Portuguese.
Portuguese? Oh, how lovely.
Of course, this is very much a young man's game, Heather. A lot of the older staff are beginning to find it a bit of a strain.
Ah, Rex. Everything under control?
Oh, yes, Chef, no problem.
Everything's fine, JF. Miss Sinclair's just popped in for a file. Rex is doing his best to find it, sir.
Yes, what file was that, Harry?
Area 6, 1972, please.
Files are Rex's speciality. Well, that's not it, is it, Mason? We'll have to do better than that. One does have to bear with one's staff these days. One tries to devise a foolproof system, but one is rather up against it. Well, come along, Mason. The book, man, the book.
The book? What book, Chef?
The book one has to sign before any file goes out or comes into this office. Where is it?
Oh, well, I seem to remember delegating that to Harry, J.F.
Ah, yes, but that was when you were having all those dizzy spells.
What dizzy spells?
And when you were getting over your dizzy spells, we agreed Burke should be in charge of it. But he's probably forgotten. Burke?
What? Oh, Mr. Fletcher. Never at any time has a file book been allocated to me. You said yourself, Mr. Fletcher, to give me anything to look after was tantamount to sabotage.
I did. Well, I can see they're going to be quite some time sorting this out. I think we'd be better off waiting in some comfort, wouldn't you say? Rex, do what you can about finding that file. There's a good chap. One really can't think of everything oneself, can one?
Well, of all the class distinction. See the smooth way he came in here and took her off?
Yeah, I never got to look him from first to last, just a kick for being a naughty little doggy.
Yes, well, one does have a hard time of it with one's riffraff, does not one, bloody cheek?
She's a lovely-looking girl, Harry. I wish I had Mr. Fletcher's touch.
She won't, not when she finds out how his hands shake. Look, he is old enough to be her father. But doubtless when she hears one's dulcet tones and gets a lungful of one's divine fragrance, it'll be bingo. Into one's Jaguar, out into the woods, and onto one's plastic tablecloth. Right, that's it. What are you doing? I'm going to find that file in double quick time, take it into his office, and get her out of there.
Yeah, well, you won't find it. There's 6 of them missing.
What? Oh, we've got to find it. He's not going to get away with this, you know.
What a lovely laugh. Like music.
All right, Bert. A laugh like music isn't everything.
Yeah, but she's got everything else, too.
Yeah, now Fletcher's got his hands on it. Well, that settles it. He's not going to get a birthday card from me.
This one is for internal. That one is to buzz my secretary. That one gives me a direct line out where I have the whole world at my fingertips.
I expect you make a lot of calls abroad at your sort of level.
Well, I'm trying to cut it down, actually. One shouldn't become a slave to the telephone. Life becomes intolerable if one has to keep one hand free for San Francisco or Zurich.
John, do you ever get the feeling we're not acting naturally?
Aren't we?
We cower away in our offices, opting out of life. Do you feel that?
Oh, I do. I know people like that.
Life just passes them by. The world for them is just something they get in contact with by telephone. It's crazy when you think about it. The world is there, just outside the door.
Oh, you're so right, Heather. Some people settle for so little when they could achieve so much. Man's potential is boundless. We went to the moon, didn't we?
Right.
Think of Leonardo da Vinci turning out masterpieces at 80.
Oh, age is nothing to do with it.
Well, he could have chickened out at 40, but he didn't. I've always loved art. Do you paint at all?
I'm afraid I'm no good at it. What I like doing best is water skiing.
Water skiing? I should have guessed. You're just built for it. Poise, grace, and a beautiful set of muscles. I bet you look marvelous in a wetsuit.
And better still, when I peel it off.
Well, I suppose we, it must be down here somewhere.
Rex says here's 1973, if that'll do, Mr. Fletcher. Mr. Fletcher, Rex says...
Go out and find the right one.
Yes, Mr. Fletcher.
well. This is just dreaming.
Oh, no, Heather, I can't agree with you at all. You're seeing the birth of a new man.
Sitting in his chair. And where was he? Under his desk.
Under his desk.
Well, somebody else can go in next time. I didn't know where to look. Hello, Carol.
Hello, Carol.
Very busy in here for a Friday, aren't we?
Yes.
Yes, I like your dress.
Thanks.
I like the way your earrings dangle.
Thanks, Burke. You're sweet to notice. I thought Mr. Fletcher should take it a bit easy today, as I've cut off his calls.
Pardon?
I don't think you did a very good job of it, Carol.
Oh, Carol.
Yes, Mr. Fletcher?
Would you ring Mrs. Fletcher and say I have to cancel lunch with her today?
I see.
Yes, tell her I can't possibly make it. Got a crisis on. Missing documents.
Any message for the Portuguese?
Portuguese?
Can they still expect the invasion this evening at dinner time?
Well, we'll talk about that later. Rex, no hurry for that file. Just come.
Oh!
Oh, that's the spirit, Carol! The double-crossing old goat!
He'll get a lot more than he's looking for.
You know, if I were you, I'd go in there and tip all his drawers out.
I'm sure she's just a passing fancy, Carol.
Heather Sinclair, she's notorious. Don't you know what happened with her in the London office?
Well, she set it on fire.
Pretty well. She came in to borrow a file, and the personnel manager ended up getting the sack.
Good Lord!
When I think of the times Well, he's not going to have me covering up for him. She's a wrecker.
Poor old Mr. Fletcher.
What do you mean he's had this coming for a very long time?
Have you no soul, Harry?
What?
Does no tragedy touch your stony heart? There, but the grace of God was any one of us.
Yes.
What do you mean?
They sacked all his staff as well.
Why?
They couldn't find the file.
Helpful but disgusting.
Ouch!
Oh, don't do any more tidying.
Yeah, no, I'm not, but shift up. You might be under that cushion you're on.
If you didn't bring your work home with you, you wouldn't lose it.
Well, it's not necessarily me that's lost it, but I'm the one that's responsible for files. Here, what was that Timmy tore up to make that paper mache giraffe?
It was the phone book.
That's right. Anyway, these files have got to be found. Files are the lifeblood of any office.
Yeah, there's a girl here who says she can't help being fascinated by older men. She asks if it's a compulsion. I can't understand anybody like that, can you?
Well, ours not to reason why, Susan. Sounds like good news for some of us.
Sounds like bad news for the rest of us. Anyway, you don't need to kill yourself looking for all these files. I don't suppose Mr. Fletcher will be all that bothered.
Don't talk to me about Fletcher. He took the afternoon off when he shouldn't have.
Well, it was his birthday.
Yeah, he didn't come back from lunch.
Was Carol there?
Oh, when?
In the office, after lunch.
Oh, yes, Carol was there.
Oh, so it wasn't Carol then.
Well, who said he was out with some girl? Oh.
Well, that's the Male Mutual Protection Society.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, the point is, Fletcher may be getting the push.
Apply for his job, then.
Me?
Well, if you don't, Harry will.
Oh, Susan, I'm shocked at this attitude you're taking. I couldn't take a mean advantage like that.
No.
Well, anyway, how could I apply for his job with half the files missing? I mean, what have you got to say? Oh, that's all right, Mr. Mason. You're obviously quite incompetent of what you've been doing, but don't worry, it's a better job. Try and make a cock up of that one, too.
You know, you started off the day all masculine and aggressive. Now you've gone all soft and weak.
So we meet again, Scarlet.
That Teddy's head.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it.
You know, Susan, I've been thinking. You seem to have a fair bit of spare energy. So I was wondering, do you think you could have a little bit of a look for that file? I can't find it anywhere.
Wait a minute. This stuff isn't our department, it's Bloomfield's, Rex. Look at this. There's yards of it.
Yeah, well, what do you want me to do about it, Harry? Ring up the manager and complain? Look, you just have to get the figures out on that.
Not me. Once we start on that, it'll set a precedent. I'm not touching it. How about you, Berg?
I can't see what they want.
What they want is for us to start doing someone else's work before we've properly woken up. That's why they've slipped it in first thing Monday morning, right?
Right.
Right, that just leaves you, Rex.
You're not leaving all that for me, Harry.
Simple, then. Go and tell Fletcher he's been taken advantage of, mind you. What does he expect if he's not here? It's past 10 already.
It's his job to protect his staff from exploitation.
No, that's how you see his job, is it, Burke? I've often wondered.
Yes, well, look at me. I could have been halfway through that lot and not realised what I was doing.
Quite right, Burke. Mind you, you often go through the whole day like that.
Morning.
Morning, Mr.
Morning,
Fletcher.
Oh, morning, Jay.
Lovely morning, Rick. Find that file yet?
Not yet, Jay.
Good, good.
A bit snowed under.
Fine, fine. Hello again.
Dear, how about old Fletcher then, eh? Cocky cap and no tie.
Not even 20.
What about the jacket? For Fletcher, that must be like wearing caftan and beads.
What I can't stand is he looked happy. I tell you what. Face him with that lot. That'll wipe a smile off his face.
I wondered if I could have a moment.
Yes, of course. Come in, Rick. How was your weekend?
Weekend? Oh, it's all right. I painted the front gate. What about you?
A weekend of discovery, Rex. Exploration, reaching out for some... You know what I mean?
Well, I can't quite put a finger on it.
Which of us can? Cooped up in here. Why do we do it, Rex?
Well, it must be some sort of primitive...
I mean, why do we come in here at all? We've lost it, haven't we?
Lost what, Chair?
The clear vision of youth. Oh, we should hang on to it. We should never lose it. Good heavens, what a lot of paper.
Oh, yes, well, that's what I come to see you about. There's a bit of a conspiracy here from Mr. Bloomfield's department.
Bloomfield. Ah, there's a man with no vision, Rex. He's an ant, scurrying about on the ant.
He's just scurried in here and dumped this on us. He must have thought you weren't coming in again.
Rex, all this tension, anxiety. Is that what's worrying you? It's quite simple. Well, it's only paper, Rex. People must be crazy to go on shuffling it.
Jeff!
You've seen Heather? Free spirit.
Oh, I don't know, she works here.
Young and free and so much to give. I'm in love, Rex. It's wonderful. Loving and giving. That's what we all ought to be. How much can we give?
I've got 2 things to give you, Mr. Fletcher. The work you have to finish today, and a list of people who phoned you since Friday lunchtime. I told all of them you were out.
Look after her when I'm gone, Rex.
Gone? You're not thinking of doing anything desperate, are you?
I can't live in chains, Rex. There's nothing left for me here.
Yeah, but, what about Mrs. Fletcher? I mean, think of her.
I am thinking of her, Rex.
But then, banish her from your mind. Think of Heather.
What are you talking about, Rex? I think of her all the time. I'm leaving here, Rex.
What?
I'm going to set up on my own. As a consultant, tax advice, that sort of thing. The world is waiting.
The world may not be waiting to come and consult you.
With Heather by my side, I am able to stretch myself to the limit. So far, I've not done that.
Oh, haven't you? Perhaps next weekend. Come in.
No, Fletcher.
Oh, it's you, Bloomfield.
Voice sounds familiar. Oh, good Lord, it is. Good heavens.
My dear Bloomfield, can we be of any assistance? You haven't locked yourself out of your office again.
I must say that jacket's rather nice. If only they'd taken the shoulders in a bit. Thinking of going youth hosteling, then?
Rex, Mr. Bloomfield looks as though he's staying for a little while. Find him a chair.
No, really. The good lady. Looks in reasonable shape. Recent, is it? And that reminds me. You heard about the deputy chairman's niece?
We lost your drift, I'm afraid, young man. Who's she?
Oh, bit of a headache for our revered manager, young Heather Sinclair. Picks which branch she'd like to amuse herself in, and stays as long as she feels like it.
Yeah, Mr. Fletcher has got 1 or 2 people to see you.
Oh, I don't doubt it. It's all over the office. Because the manager can hardly sack her. But he's giving out he'll fire anyone else that gets involved. Because I never met her. She must be quite a smasher. Still, admire your jacket, old chap. Good hiking.
Oh, my God.
You look like death, JF. Shall I open the window?
Oh, if that girl comes in here, tell her I'm out. No, I mean, I must ring all these people and tell them I'm... What are you doing in my waste bin?
Well, it's all this stuff Mr. Bloomfield's dumped on it.
Oh, Bloomfield, that slimy schemer. Get them out of my office. Rex, have we found that file?
Oh, well, I've looked everywhere, JF.
Well, find it. They'll get me yet if you don't.
Well, I'll go and have another look, JF.
Oh, Rex, these young women, they eat you up. They're like spiders, Rex.
Oh, it's odd you should say that. I put one down the sink the other morning.
What do you tell me I've got to ring there for?
Mr. Fletcher, may I say how glad...
Out! Oh. Find that file.
Right, you two. I'm going to have another look for that file. We are very busy, you know, Mr. Bloomfield.
Yeah, I can see that. Yes, very busy doing your work.
I must admire your style, Joe.
These files weren't here this morning.
Not me, Rex. Back a while, haven't we? You ought to be rejoicing that you found them, Rex, like with the lost sheep in the Bible.
You were this morning,
I got up early.
Then, of course, you didn't wear yourself out at the weekend looking for files, did you? Because you knew you had them, didn't you?
Well, yes, Rex.
Well, what did you want them for? Your night school homework, I suppose?
Yes. But they weren't any good for what I wanted. I'd already read them.
Then why didn't you bring them back? I mean, look at it. The paper's all crinkled. Last year's net creditors, Area 6 for 1972.
Area 6 for 9.
Area 6 for 1972. Now, look here, Mr. Bloomfield. We are very busy.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Miss Sinclair?
Is John in his office?
Well, yes. He's on the phone. Well, there's 4 people. Well, they're all on the phone.
He's going to be very, very busy.
Yes, we all are, all day. You wouldn't believe how boring it's going to be.
Of course, you could try Mr. Bloomfield's office.
I don't know Mr. Bloomfield.
Oh, yes, Mr. Bloomfield. Yes, you just met him. He's up on the next floor. He's quite a good-looking chap, don't you think? He's a bit unsettled at the moment. He's got a Mercedes.
A Mercedes?
Yeah. He could do with a bit of drawing. Now, I'll tell you what. If you're passing that way, could you drop these on him? They're his.
Oh. The blue Mercedes?
The blue Mercedes, that's the one. Yes, sir. Hey, next floor, up, second door along.
Yes, sir. I'll be up right away, sir.
Typical of this office, isn't it, and this company, to want your last drop of blood and set these man-traps for you?
Yeah, man-traps with voices like music.
I need a tie, quickly.
Oh, yeah. Would you like this,
No,
Mr. Fletcher?
Oh, no, thank you, Bert.
No, I don't think this is your style, JF. You might be mistaken for a trendy young thing.
I'll risk it.
No, but I'm supposed to be a trendy young thing, Mr. Fletcher.
Well, just crouch over your work and nobody will notice.
I have found the missing file, Jack.
Oh, good. Now I can take it up to the manager and see if forward planning really needed. Oh, thank you. My God, what's happened to it? It looks like puff pastry.
It was my mother, Mr. Fletcher.
Your mother?
She spilt my malted bedtime drink all over it.
You're mad. This is paper, company paper. Have you no respect for it?
Well, I did wash it carefully by hand. I didn't put it in the machine.
Oh, my God, I can't go up to the manager with this. Bert, you will take it up to the manager yourself and explain. Harry, Rex, fetch him.
Yeah, come on.
Excuse me.